Hello.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Joseph.
Here's my
Detailed resume.
So Joseph, welcome. My first question, why do you want to join the union?
Well, I would like to join the union because I think it's important for workers to be protected with the union, that whether it be our wages or health-wise, and especially with some sets, just having rules for those sets so that they don't mistreat workers.
What benefits do you expect from Local 600?
What benefits? Kind of what I just said actually, just like being able to be protected against like producers who may like badly manage people or misuse or mistreat people, and just like if there's any like health or safety concerns, and those would be the main reason.
What about cinematography draws you most to it?
What draws me most? It's just something I've been into since I was pretty young. Since middle school, I started getting into photography, which ended up later on leading me into film. I've just always had sort of like, in my head, I've always kind of like imagined very like kind of cinematic shots and that's what kind of like ended up drawing me to like taking pictures onto my cell phone, onto working with reds and stuff.
And do you have experience using Dolly, Steadicam, or even handheld?
I actually have experience in all three on sets.
Three? That's good to know.
Kind of piggybacking off your first question,
Sure.
what is your favorite movie regarding cinematography, why, and how do you think that represents you?
I don't know if it's my favorite movie completely, but in the recent movies I've watched, I really liked La La Land, particularly that DP, who he's also worked on American Hustle. I think he just does he's like really good at time periods, and the way that kind of connects to me is like while watching those kind of movies, I always notice like the type of shots of how they technically do it, and so like I can tell when it's Steadicam and that, and I'm always like really in like wonder of like I can always think of like what like did they use to get that shot from the technical aspect, and also like the cinematic aspect, and it always interests me.
So, are you willing to join training and technical seminars?
Yeah, I'd be willing. Something I'd go to, and I think I'd find helpful.
Did you go anything so far?
I've gone to not by Union 600, but by some of the Tiffin Steadicam workshops before.
Okay. Do you plan to work locally or nationwide?
I'd be open to travel, but I think for the most part I would be working in local Los Angeles area.
Okay.
Can you tell us about an obstacle you might have needed to overcome to get a certain shot?
Sure, let me think about that. Sorry, I just try to think of like a particular moment, because
Just kind of a question to let you speak.
yeah, of course. Well, I also do some electric on the side, and so like one example is while gaffing at the CVS backlot, I had to light this entire block, this like fake prop area block, and it started raining, so I had to figure out I had to change some of the lighting just because, just to compensate for all the rain, we couldn't protect all the lights with the gear we had at present. And so I was able to just communicate efficiently with the DP and the electrics that were under me to just get things inside and how we're going to still get that shot off. And we were able to make our day still.
And how long have you been practicing this art?
How long? I've been filmed for I've been working on sets for about two years, a little more than that. And before was just like, yeah, photography and film kind of got me into it. I did some high school classes too before.
So do you I can see you work as a camera assistant or camera operator mostly.
Mm.
Can you tell me 2 examples for it you face with the technical issues? What was it?
Yeah, I can list one. One example was I was on an overnight shoot and we were using a Sony F55, and all of a sudden the raw converter died, and so we didn't have a power for the camera. And so what we ended up having to do was get a new camera. Was like they had to end up calling for getting a new camera. And so after like the hour of waiting, we got that camera. And then I was first day seeing, and so my follow focus battery was dying, and they didn't have any of this very special kind of battery. And so and we were having a Steadicam shot, and it was wide open, so it was pretty difficult that I had to just at the exact times turn off the follow focus so I can conserve energy and then return it on as soon as I needed to do certain pulls.
Nice.
Are you able to work well with lighting in order to achieve certain shots?
Yes, as someone who's had background in the electrical side and interest in lighting, I just I like to work in most of like the lighting section of G&E just because it helps me understand better for like my own like framing and composition and how I like work in Steadicam and operating.
So your main focus is Steadicam?
My main focus is Steadicam.
Alright.
Are you willing to be away from home weeks at a time, and how would you cope with that?
I am willing. The longest I've been now on set has been a week, but just keeping myself busy and just concentrate, always preparing for the next day. Usually with sets, it's 12-hour days, so I don't have much time to think about a lot else other than like preparing for the next day, going to bed, and waking up early for the next shoot.
What,
Yeah.
what is different between you and others who are in the camera department?
I'm definitely a much more determined individual. You know, you're never going to see me at the end of that 12-hour day like slowing down. I just keep on working at it since the first hour sort of person.
And then where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I hope to be, well, part of the Union 600, working in Steadicam, preferably in the narrative side, so features, shows, and including I'd like to work in commercials too.
One final question. Do you already register our website?
I have not registered yet, as I have not completed 100 days. I know it's required to have 100 days of union work, and I'm currently in the process of buying a rig.
Okay.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Thank you for coming today.
Yeah.
Thank you.